no tunes this morning. I couldn't think of any. I don't know. So how you all doing? Right? I've been kind of pissy. Like maybe the past 24 hours. And I'm trying to put my finger on what it is actually. So is it am I aggravated? Or is it real anger, or is it misdirected anger, or am I just fatigued, or whatever, you know? So I'm trying to navigate my way through what it may or may not be, right? It's like I woke up like wanted to kick and scratch and bite, you know? So then I thought, well, seeing that I really didn't have a topic, although I do want to give you some heads up on the planets. They're sort of whatever they're going to be, and I'll tell you about that in a minute. But so I was like, well, maybe this is a good opportunity to tap into anger and to talk about it and to figure it out, right? So it's something we could all like explore, you know. So for one, there's plenty of reasons to feel helpless, frustrated, angry, scared, whatever. And with all of us, our patience is wearing really thin. It is. So, you know, everybody feels like they're doing the right thing, and yet nobody's getting any results, and so on and so forth, that kind of a thing, right? So, but before I get into that, so tomorrow the sun enters Taurus, and that's an earth sign, and so maybe there's a little bit of that, those rumblings, you know, getting rooted and moving out of out of Aries, which is a fire sign, which is very, you know, animated and free-spirited and all that good stuff, right? So tomorrow the sun moves into Taurus. I think until May 20th, I think. It kind of, sometimes it moves a day or two depending on the year. So, and if you're on the cusp, you're going to, like if you're born May 21st or whenever, you're going to demonstrate both signs. You're going to activate both signs, you know. So, good morning, you guys. I can see some of you there. Okay. So, so then let me think. Thursday, Venus and Uranus kind of team up. And Venus is a planet of love and beauty, and Uranus is like kind of like the mad scientist in a way, I guess, you know. So it's sort of like, oh, she blinded me with science. So the chemistry there is actually quite sensual. It's surprisingly enough. So that part's good. And then let me think, there's one more. Mars is going to leave Gemini. You know, Mars is that action Jackson kind of. Mars also represents the masculine, like Venus represents the feminine, right? So Mars is going to move out of Gemini, like fun, playful, flirty Gemini, and is going to move into homebody, to Cancer, all right, till June 11th. So maybe that'll cool out some of this weird energy, you know. Maybe that will help in some way, shape, or form. So my whole week was kind of frustrating. It's like it was like Calamity Jane. It's like everything that I tried to get done had setbacks and frustrations, and then, you know, just coming out of the throes of last week's ear infection, I don't think that I'm completely rebooted yet. And I felt this pressure coming at me. And so I could blame other people, right? I can do that. Or I can, you know, take a personal inventory, and I can go, all right, it's okay for me to set some boundaries, right? And we all need to practice that from time to time. But, today it was almost like, from yesterday to today, it's like angry seems to be the only description that fits, right? I just feel angry. I feel, you know. So, anger, I wanted to talk about it because anger gets a bad rap. It really does. Oh, you're mad at me, or you're this, or you're that, right? So we get those, like that's an emotion that should never be activated or should never, no, never, and yet it's actually a pretty powerful tool. I've talked about this before, like last year, so a little bit. So some of you may remember, some of you may not. It's a powerful tool that we need in our toolbox, right? Like we need to have that there. But we need to treat it with respect, right? Are you coming up here? Come on. Come here. Yeah, you can. So, we don't, anger gets a bad rap. It's good to have in our toolbox, right? I got distracted with Kitty. And we need to treat it with a tremendous amount of respect, all right? So I think what happens a lot of times is we want to save it up, and we, because anger can actually protect us, but I think a lot of times it's like a bank account. I think we spend it foolishly. And so we want to keep it in the Disney vault because it can be a tool for survival. Like, if you have it, put in a useful compartment, I guess would be a good way to put it. If you, this can help you fight off an intruder or defend yourself or whatever the case may be, right? So, but we don't want to treat it like a lottery ticket, right? Where, oh my God, I won 100 grand, so how fast can I spend it, right? So like when we're driving, we get frustrated. Man, I'm seeing a lot of that. And me being, intuitive, I sense it too. So it's even more, part of it is me being able to differentiate between like what's coming at me and what I'm, able to repel and take on as my own. But I think all of you out there have a tendency to absorb the frequencies that we're moving through at this time, which are very challenging, to say the least. So, but we want to look at it with respect. We want to store it like in the Disney vault, and then we want to unleash it when we see fit. When it's necessary, like if we're being approached or we're being encroached upon or something of that nature. So I don't know. I just wanted to kind of bring voice to that today a little bit. And how many of you out there are feeling angry or frustrated or under pressure, right? I can't be alone in this with this frequency. So, but we want to embrace it and we want to harness it, right? Maybe slip a saddle over it and, collect the bridle and maybe move through it in a productive way and don't spend it all in one place, because then you're depleted of it when you actually require it, when you need it. That's important, So yeah, I wanted to talk about that a little bit, and how good is it? Are we going to let it fester? Are we going to misdirect it at somebody? Because fear is usually what's really going on. When we become fearful, we may transcend that vibration into or demonstrate it in anger form. And maybe sometimes we need to move our ego out of the way a little bit and just come out with it and say, hey, I'm kind of afraid. This is kind of scary. You know? Maybe if we looked at it like that, that we may get a different response or a more fluent response from somebody else if we're like, gosh, you know, I'm kind of scared, instead of puffed up, I'm pissed, you know? So I'm gonna get something to drink. I'll be right back. Maybe one of the pets will come and amuse you for a minute. Well, usually they just follow me. So, hang on. Okay, I'm back. Here we are. All right, just wanted some pineapple. I felt like everything was drying up, like I was sucking on a cotton ball or something. So for you guys out there, just taking a little poll here. How many of you have felt angry or frustrated or helpless or whatever? I mean, because it's kind of, you know, I'm the spiritual pep talk lady, right? I mean, if I'm experiencing it, that can't be very comforting for you guys, right? It's like, oh shit. But I don't foresee myself going into a post office and losing my mind anytime too soon, or ever, right? I won't. But how many of you have been like trying to ride this frequency and maybe feeling as though, you know, you're hanging on to the edge of the boat and your fingers are starting to get numb, you know? It's, you know, so let's look at like what may be influencing it besides the planets, you know? You know, we're going on a year here, a year and a month now with this nonsense, and you know, that's putting everybody under a tremendous amount of pressure, and it just doesn't feel like there's any relief in sight, you know? And so, you know, maybe we're not tapping into a resource that allows us to release it productively. You know, any number of things. So, but yeah, I know I'm not the only one. So I had to take an inventory on it, and I was like, I think this might be more fear-based and frequency-based than it is that I'm actually pissed about anything. Empathetically, you know, I'm sensing all this panic and fear and frustration with my loved ones, and so I feel helpless that I can't comfort them, right? Like I'd like to. Helplessness is enough to create some frustration and anger, obviously, as well. You know, this is part of the human condition, right? We're riding through this, and none of us have done this before. Nobody knows how to do this. We're all like brand new at this game, you know. So, but yeah, just think about it, you know. Put your finger on the pulse and try to figure out like how you're responding to the current frequency. Like, figure that out. I don't know. That's what I'm gonna do today. And no, you know, we need to get out. We need to connect with nature. We need to stay well up here. See, this is what I think the bigger challenge is here, is people maintaining their sanity, their emotional connection, that balance. Like it up here is where wellness is not evident. I don't mean that like everybody's going crazy either. I think the stress is putting pressure on us, and it's good, you know. And when we activate that, that starts to manifest things in our physical body, right? We don't want to do that. So, but yeah, so we have to be coming around the mountain at some point here, and that's a good thing. You know, whatever steps that are being made to, you know, speed whatever process along for us to integrate back into our communities, and to make that human contact, that heart contact that we crave. You know, we've all been depleted. Right? What do you see, hon? We're depleted of that exchange of energy, and it's not healthy, obviously. So, but then there comes a point where it's like we have to set a boundary because somebody's coming at us, and their frequency is so out of touch. Ladies, come on up here. You know that we can't continue to you know, feed or absorb any of that, right? We can't absorb any of that vibe. That's not good, you know. So I don't know. This will probably be a short one, but I just wanted to remind everybody to take inventory on how they feel, where they think it might be coming from, what they're exposing themselves to. Is it too much media content? And let's not assume that means network news either. Social media plays a significant role in fear and frustration too. And maybe it doesn't always get that heartfelt, it doesn't always supply that heartfelt connection that we were hoping that it would do years ago when we decided to enter into this arena, right? So, you know, just be mindful of how much intake you're allowing your physical being to absorb. So we want to be mindful of that. Anyways, why don't you come up here and say hi? Come here. Come up and say hi. So here's some good stuff to look at. Look at this. Oh, yeah, cutie. Look at this cutie. I know. Here's some good connections here with Miss Scout Gazzardo this morning. She's really on high alert, making sure we're staying safe and doing her job. Tomorrow she gets to go get groomed. She's blowing her coat all over the place. And so is her sister, so they're going in for to Dave's doggy den to get a nice bath and you know, blow some of that coat out. We'll leave all that fur down there for them to deal with because that's their job and they do it quite well. And yeah, so make sure you're getting outside today, right? If you gotta bundle up. A lot of people that watch my videos are on the West Coast or in the South, where you know that's not as much of a challenge. But you got to get with nature, you guys. That's gonna be a good thing. Get with nature. Get outside. If that's become a monotony, try a new venue. Try a new environment. You know, explore what's available to you. Like explore it and tap into those, to, you know, Mother Nature's precious resources. She's there. She's there to restore you. I know allergies were kind of rough the past week too. She's a baby. You know, so that can make things kind of complicated as well, but trust me when I say, like, when you take the time, whether it's an hour or a half hour or the whole afternoon to connect with nature, get outside, look around, embrace what's going on. When you take the time to do that, she will absorb. That's her job. Mother Nature will absorb your frustration. She will cleanse this energy. She will balance that out for you. And if you find your mind racing or stuck, like the needle stuck on the record with an incident or an exchange or communication or whatever, then put some music in your ears and totally tune it out. Got to do that. So, you know, but yeah, make that connection. All right. So let me know if you're frustrated or if you've been dealing with misdirected anger or frustration this week. You know, we're gonna battle that together. We're gonna deal with this together, right? We're gonna blow through this like as a team. Okay? And remember how important anger is. It's a valuable tool that gets a bad rap. But we don't wanna spend those resources foolishly, right? We wanna store that and put it in the right compartment so that if we should need to use that for protection or defense or whatever, you know, we have that available. We didn't just spend it all on the way Granny was driving or whatever the case may be, you know. So, all right. So that's what I had to say this week. Hopefully next week will be a little more interesting, you know. So, but yeah. So there's where we're at with that. So let's make a conscious effort to balance our resources and spend them wisely and not foolishly. All right? Okay. So, all right. Mind, body, spirit. I love you guys. Stay well. Eat your immune boosting foods. All right? Take your D3. Stay well here. Clear this out here. Whatever it takes, okay? Create that balance. And I'll see you next Sunday. All right? Okay, take care. Love to you guys.